So they're just using this to manipulate us, to put fear in the people of the United States.
You're listening to the Hour of the Time. I'm William Cooper.
Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. And what I say is I don't care if I die of corona. I don't care. Give me my freedom.
Stop believing what you're told and what you read and begin to find the truth for yourself.
You see, there really are some things worth dying for, and freedom is at the very top of the list.
Well, I consider him a great patriot.
The Patriot movement exists on the right wing of the Republican Party. Some members see shadowy forces at work in the world, the same forces that William Cooper saw decades before.
He had a broadcast station there, and he had a certain time at a radio station at the top of the Andes Mountains, for which he broadcast to the world his program called The Hour of the Time. And it was a scary program.
Is there a conspiracy? Yes. Are we being manipulated and controlled and guided into a new world order and a new world religion? Yes.
Cooper wrote a book, Behold a Pale Horse, filled with conspiracy theories.
If he wasn't exactly right, he was close to right. Very purposeful man.
Jacobs published the Round Valley paper, filled mainly with his own rantings about government.
We were on the same wavelength on many things. I wish to teach Democrats to be Republicans and teach Republicans to be constitutionalists. This is not an easy thing. It's a real problem in the world that you have people basing their lives on lies.
And if you don't accept that message and understand it, and if you don't adopt that philosophy, very soon you will lose freedom for yourselves and for all of your posterity.
We're in the fight of our life right now for the heart and soul of this country. We wanted the truth, and it was our pursuit of the truth that kind of led us into this role. Hey.
Jennifer Harrison has used her bullhorn and cell phone to draw attention to the Patriot movement. She has become a fixture at rallies protesting against illegal immigration, gun control, and, this year, in support of reopening the state in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Her videos created a virtual clubhouse on Facebook for the state's Patriot movement.
Hey, this is you guys' song. Insane in the membrane. Going insane. They got no brain. I wouldn't call it an agitation. I would call it an opposition. Be nice. I like your rifle. What you got? I like to ask them the hard questions that nobody asks them. The questions that make them feel the most uncomfortable. Do you think that you don't have the same opportunities that I have?
I guarantee it. My life matters just as much as hers.
Let's try to discuss the issues that are important to you, too important to me, and let's see if we can find common ground.
How am I supposed to trust the police? How am I supposed to trust, let my little sister walk around? Like, come on, man. These are real life fears that black people have, that minorities have. We are scared.
There is a lot of not only misinformation out there, but there is also a lack of information. Mainstream media, when things get sticky for one side and they don't want to paint that side in a certain light, they'll cut the feed. Vera casa, fuera, fuera.
But underneath the surface, some Patriot conversations were driven by hate. The Arizona Republic reviewed thousands of posts, comments, and videos on a closed Patriot Facebook page. They found a 2-year stream of racism, Islamophobia, xenophobia.
New bus just arrived in Mesa, straight from the border. Straight from the border to a church near you. Criminal, 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 criminal.
Members also shared wild conspiracy theories.
Any one of these children found to be child sex trafficked, it's on your hands.
Harrison saw something sinister in watching refugees arrive at churches.
Do we know if these children have been DNA tested, sir?
Churchgoers were volunteering to house the migrant families for a few days, but Harrison became convinced she was witnessing a child sex trafficking operation.
You don't want the American people to see.
She saw truths hidden by powerful figures. She needed to expose it and alert others. Though she had never heard of William Cooper, she was following in his spirit.
Because I believe we could get ourselves out of this situation if we will just open our eyes, our ears, and wake up.
There was kind of a lore about him. There were some stories that he was armed to the hilt up there, and up on that little hill, you have a pretty good view of the valley.
Cooper became increasingly paranoid.
And it appears that me and my wife have been targeted for imprisonment or extermination by the federal government for documenting and sourcing the truth about the tyranny and despotism of the Illuminati's coming.
One thing he discussed was that when the feds come to get him, he was going to kill them all. And he showed me how.
The second article of the amendment is nothing to do with the right to hunt or any of the other things that people bandy about. It's to protect us against our own government should it ever become oppressive.
When we drove up there that night to watch the lightning, we didn't expect anything like happened to us. We weren't up there 2 minutes and bam, his house lights went on. His pickup with his bright lights, he started driving right towards us, so I said, let's just go home. And he was on my bumper, right down into my driveway. As I approached his pickup, he got out, and he said, I know that you were from the FBI, you're up here spying on me. He reached over and pulled out his handgun, and he put that thing at my forehead, and he said, you better find out who I am and never come up on this hill again.
Dr. Hamblin contacted the sheriff's office, who issued a warrant for his arrest, then created a plan to lure Cooper out. Deputies pretended to have a party on the hill.
He came out, the officers got out of the back of the truck to apprehend him, and then he started to fire, and so they fired on him.
Bam, bam.
It's better to fall off trying to save freedom than to die in the chains.
This mask mandate is Open up our schools, Governor Ducey! We know you are complicit with the globalists and their agenda!
Every true patriot has some sort of political activism in their blood because they care about what is going on in their country or in their state or in their city.
We got less than 90 days until the election!
Q is about taking back the country from globalists and from communists. And they've infiltrated the news, they've infiltrated the entertainment, they've infiltrated the politics.
Where's that gonna put you when you're voted out of office?
The getup itself draws a lot of attention. If this guy's looking like this,
quite possibly behind bars!
Who the heck is Q?
Q, according to the theory that has gained traction among some patriots, is an informant with high-level Q security clearance, supposedly disseminating bits of top-secret information online.
Uh-oh, that flag is red. That needs to come down.
It's all coming out!
Q warns of a global cabal that leads a child sex trafficking ring and claims Donald Trump is investigating.
During the pandemic, the QAnon movement appears to be gaining a lot of followers. Can you talk about what you think about that and what you have to say to people who are following this movement right now?
Well, I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me very much, which I appreciate.
Help child sex trafficking!
At the crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind? Or
well, I haven't heard that, but is that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean, you know.
Don't touch that dial unless you don't like to think, or unless you like being the puppet on the end of the string.
The spirit of tyranny is still alive. But the spirit of freedom is eternal, is it not?
You and your children and your grandchildren are worth dying for. Yep. And their freedom and their liberty must be paid for. And all I'm asking you is to vote them out. Because I don't want to have to shoot them again.
This is for the soul of our nation. And I need every single one of you to stop what you're doing as soon as we go live on your Facebook, go live on your social media, and we're going to march right over there to that Capitol building, and we're going to tell them to reopen our economy right now.
In late April, protesters converged on the state capitol, demanding the governor open up businesses ordered shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. For them, this was no longer a policy debate. They saw it as a battle over freedom. The protests became a trading post for radical theories. Some attendees, not all, were followers of Q, and COVID-19 sparked new conspiracies.
It came to my attention very early in this coronavirus process that we were being heisted. This is the biggest fraud in American history, and we're done with it.
In May, the governor accelerated the reopening of the state, even though his own health data didn't justify it. Over the next few weeks, COVID deaths and cases would soar in Arizona.
The governor doesn't tell us what we can do. We tell the government what to do.
In the crowd were several state lawmakers and candidates. One, Daniel McCarthy, was challenging Martha McSally for the U.S. Senate seat. McCarthy did not espouse QAnon theories himself. Though McCarthy lost badly, he vowed to keep up the political fight.
Guys, when I said we were in a war as a country, I'm not exaggerating. Right now, we're in a war as a country. This doesn't end. It doesn't matter what happens here tonight. We're going to win this war one way or the other.
Patriot leaders will be rounded up. There will be house-to-house searches for arms. Many patriots will go to ground, and there will be a civil war in this country. If you are not prepared, ladies and gentlemen, you had better begin to get prepared now.
Some patriots echo that language. They talk of taking up arms in resistance. For them, this is beyond policy. It is the survival of the nation.
Well, the Patriot movement is not the future of a party, it's the future of our country.
Republicans need to acknowledge the fact that the Patriots are the ones that are on the front lines. We're the ones that can rally the people together, and we're not the stuffy establishment type that votes once every election, and that's the end of it.
The politics of today are so intense on both sides that you don't know where the truth is.
In a society that swims in lies, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. And a lot of the time, the truth is stranger than fiction.
If you cannot believe the government, you got to have something you can believe. So you believe this guy or that guy or the boogeyman or whatever.
That Cooper was killed by government authorities helped cement his legacy among conspiracy theorists. His book remains a bestseller 30 years after it was first published. People are still heeding his call to wake up and to question everything.
Nobody can do anything to us without our ignorance, apathy, stupidity, irresponsibility, and complete cooperation. Until tomorrow night, good night, and God bless you all.